What's up, issue? For today's video, with a full Roggenrola evolution team. So we got Roggenrola, Boldore, and Gigalith. Now, we got a bunch of abilities in today's video. We got Weak Armor, Sturdy, Sandstream, and Sandforce. So I'll be using all of these abilities in this team. I'll be using the normals and the shinies to make up a full team of 6-2. You can guess this team is a full team of rocks. If you want to check me out on Patreon, people want your own custom team or Pokemon sweep, links in the description of the video, tier 2 and above. Let's get into it. I've got 2 battles tonight with the Roggenrola team. This is a battle against Dusty Siren, and I've also done a Roggenrola sweep as well. So if you like this line, maybe you want to check a Roggenrola sweep out. I wonder if anyone does. Okay, first Pokemon is going to be a Ditto, and Ditto is going to transform into my Roggenrola. They're going to be so happy to see my moveset. So the moveset on this one, it is an Explosion, Stealth Rock, Rock Blast, and Bulldoze set. I've got Adamant Nature, and I've got Max Attack and Speed. Now, I thought of this. Normally, I don't do entry hazards too much on the teams, but this time I thought it'd be quite ironic, of course, if I run the Stealth Rocks on there. They literally are rocks, too. So I'm going to go for Bulldoze on the opposing Ditto Roggenrola right here. Does pretty good damage, but I feel like I'm probably going to faint the next turn unless I go for Bulldoze or get like 5 hits on Rock Blast. So now we've got a Bulldoze coming from the opposing Ditto, and it's got lived on 1 health. I was like, wow, I thought I'd actually, faint there. So my speed is going to be dropped, which is really, really good. And now I started firing off my Rock Blast. I'm almost firing myself at the Roggenrola, if you think about it. So that's 3 of them, and that was 4. I landed all 5 Rock Blasts to take it out there. What an amazing start to the battle. That was awesome. Bulldoze was not going to be able to take it up. Now, the next Pokemon we got here is going to be Gourgeist, and that's Gourgeist Extra Large. It's going to see what my item is. Now, this is pretty funny. It was kind of mean at the same time. So I couldn't go for Explosion. Like, you know what? I'll just go for an attacking move. So I'm going to be eating the Custard Berry, which is grant me priority. And yeah, Gourgeist takes it out the Shadow Stake, so it bypasses my priority. Unfortunately, I was very, very sad about that. I couldn't get some damage on Gourgeist. Now, what was the next one? Yeah, this was my Boldore. Now, this was the shiny one. So this was the Everlight Sturdy set. Now, this has got Sand Tomb, Toxic, Rest, and Sleep Talk. It's a very, very tanky one. I was thinking about giving it a max health and max defense, but I opted against that and gave it max health and max special defense because that's going to be a little bit more tanky with those special moves. And I also gave it Sassy Nature. Now, my first Roggenrola was also sturdy as well. You didn't get to see that, but yeah, it was a sturdy Pokemon. It's interesting, this line, only the Gigalith gets like the Sandstream, and get some other interesting abilities too. So, Gourgeist, I can definitely take out with Toxic, but I really can't do a lot here with Sand Tomb. I can trap it in, and that's about it. I wasn't really sure if it had any like Ghost moves either. It's going to be going for a Shadow Sleep, which is going to be super effective due to the Trick or Treat. That is definitely one thing I'd like to see in Gen 9. More moves like Trick or Treat and Forest Curse. You could probably actually do each type of move. Forest Curse grants the grass typing. Trick or Treat adds that, ghost typing on. You could do something for every type. I think that'd be really, really cool. Obviously not all in one gen, but you could probably do it over the course of time. That'd be really neat to have a type changing or adding move for every different type. So now we got another Shadow Stake here from the Gourgeist. I feel confident I can definitely take this out because it seems to be a 4-hit KO only just right. And maybe if it's a crit, I'm definitely going to faint in 3 turns. If I was running this more defensively, it'd be doing like even less. So Gourgeist is on its last legs there. I know they're very, very tiny there. Who's ever carved out a pumpkin before? Actually, that's something I've never, ever got to do because it's not really a tradition in Australia, Halloween. I mean, some people do it, but not very many. But yes, who's ever carved out a pumpkin before? I'm assuming there'll be a few of you that have done that. So that's going to be the end of the Gourgeist there, by the way. Someone would have had to have done a Gourgeist for Halloween before, like actually done an actual Gourgeist. And maybe one of those real longer pumpkins, you could do it. They're quite long. I don't know what the name of it is, but I know there's these pumpkins that are really sort of tall and skinny. And then you could do the Gourgeist at the bottom, like there's his face. That'd be really cool. So anyway, in comes Mr. Rhymer just in time because it's going to be taken out in my Boldore. So bye-bye Boldore. I've got to say too, this evolution line has really great shinies. The purple and the blue looks really nice. So going to the other Roggenrola. Now, this was a weak armor critting set. Now, Mr. Rhyme's going to go for a freeze dry, and it's going to drop me in one shot. I didn't even get a chance to set my strategy up. So I'll show you that one, or explain that one in the next battle. Poor Boldore. Sorry, not Boldore, Roggenrola. So this is my body press Boldore. Let's go over this one. So I've got max health and I've got max defense, impish nature. I've got the ability Sand Force, and I've got the item Everlight. I've got the Iron Defense as its move. That's going to be very, very powerful with body press. You know, it already has good defense already. And I've also got Sandstorm and Double Team. So we got a Melting coming out here, trying to melt in my heart. And we're going to go for the body press against this thing. I'm like, well, I don't even know if I would have needed Iron Defense to take this out in one shot. But you never know. It could have been an Everlight set. Flash Cannon does a lot of damage to me. It's a 2-hit KO. So I've got to take Melted out now. Otherwise, I'm going to get destroyed at the comment section. And I did. I took it out. I was like, yes. There we go. I avoided a self-roast there, people. So next Pokemon to come out is going to be the Mew. So you don't know what's ever going to happen with Mew. It could be absolutely anything. So Body Press really isn't going to do a lot of damage, but you know, it should do maybe a quarter health. And now Mew is going to go for Imprison. So like, okay, there's only one reason why Mew would go for Imprison. So with Imprison sets, what they try and do is they try and make you struggle. So your Body Press does a quarter damage anyway. So I just went for Body Press again, and Mew's going to go for the Transform. So what's going to happen here, right? What Imprison does, it seals you from using any of your moves. And since the Mew used Transform afterwards, that means we've got exactly the same moves. So I'm going to be automatically struggling. Now, there's only one extra thing you probably could have, they could have actually done to this set. It actually give Mew a trapping move, because you can still swap out in this instance. So Block would have been really good, and you've also got moves like Whirlpool and things like that too. But that's the end of my Boulder. I didn't really want to swap out anyway, because it pretty much was already that was a moveset. I had its body presses going, so there was not a lot of point in me swapping. So I'm going to go into Gigalith right now, and this is a special set. Let's go over this one. Gigalith looks absolutely awesome. It's like these crystals on a rock. Looks really nice. So I've got a special one here. We got Max Health and Max Special Attack, Modest Nature. I've got Solar Beam, Meteor Beam, Flash Cannon, and Earth Power. I've got the ability Sand Force, and I've got the item Power Herb. So what I'm going to be doing here is I want to activate Sand Force, because Sand Force powers up all the moves that I basically got there. Steel, rock, and ground. So it's perfect giving all those types of moves. Plus the sand on the field, I can go for my Meteor Beam there in Dynamax. But before I was going to do it, I was like, let's go for Max Overgrowth here. I'm going to get some health recovery, and it'll be pretty handy. So that's going to be, and also it's going to be super effective against the Mew that's transformed into a Boldore too. So that's the end of that one, which is really good. And actually, no, they only brought 5 Pokemon. Yeah, they only brought 5 Pokemon. So I don't know whether this was some sort of a specialized team or something like that, or theme team, or is this random Pokemon? I really don't know. So next Pokemon is going to be Mr. Rhyme. This is definitely going to be their Dynamax Pokemon here. I've got Max Rockfall coming off Meteor Beam, so that'll activate the the sand. So that'll put the sand up, and then it'll also activate my ability being Sand Force, which is perfect there. It's good because only on my team, I only had 1 Pokemon with Sandstream, and that was Gigalith. So 1 out of the 6 Pokemon isn't that good. So with my abilities on, I had Boldore and Gigalith, both with Sand Force. So I kind of wanted them to have more than just 1 Pokemon with Sand. So that was my way around that. So Mr. Rhyme is going to be the Dynamax Pokemon here. It's going to go for an Ice type move. I'm not really sure what it is. I mean, I've got some sort of thoughts what it might be, but it does a pretty good amount of damage to it. Gigalith's got a lot of defense too, so I want to say that was a special Mr. Rhyme. I could be wrong. So go for my most strongest attack there, dropping Stone Journey's cousin real quick there on Mr. Rhyme, doing over half his health. So that's excellent. So now instead of the rain, it's going to be not the rain. Well, I mean, when you think about it, hardened rain is hail, so I was kind of half right there. But the hail is going to get replaced by the sand, and I'm going to get some health recovery, as is the Mr. Rhyme. Now, this turn will be enough to take it out, and unless Mr. Rhyme actually gets a critical hit here, I think I'm going to be okay. I've got Max Steel Spike too, which is super effective, but I'm definitely going to go for this, because it's going to be more powerful in the sand too. So now Mr. Rhyme, instead of attacking me, he's going to go for a Max Guard. My Max Rockfall is going to fail here too. Now, since I Dynamax one turn earlier than Mr. Rhyme, that's going to be the end of my Dynamax. But I've still got something up my sleeve too, which is good. I don't know where Gigalith's sleeves are located. Maybe under a couple of rocks. You'll have to search. So I've got the Power Herb attached, so I thought this would be really, really good because I can go for Meteor Beam here, and that's going to be a very, very powerful attack. You know, it's going to be more powerful than my Dynamax. So here comes the Max Hailstorm there from the Mr. Rhyme, and it's going to hit me a lot harder because I wasn't in Dynamax, but I still didn't faint, which is absolutely awesome there. So the hail is going to fall here, so Sandforce is now gone. But since I've got a little bit more base power on the Meteor Beam, and it's going to boost my special attack by 1 stage, this should be more than enough to take out the Mr. Rhyme. I was only worried about a miss too. That was the only thing I was like really, really worried about. Please don't miss, and it did miss, and Mr. Rhyme is going to get, I thought it was going to get hit in the nose then. It got hit in the face, and that is the end of it. And that's the end of the first battle there as well. I think I only had... Oh, I had another Gigalith left, but you get to see that Gigalith in the next battle. So thank you, Dutsy Siren, for the battle there, and we'll get on to battle number 2. Now, I had that Roggenrola and Gigalith, which pretty much both didn't get much spotlight in the first battle, so I know they did at least something more in this battle. This is the battle against Peeps a lot, and we have a Slowbro lead. Now, this is some sort of like theme team as well. I wonder if you can guess what it is. Leave it below in the comment section. And of course, people, if you're enjoying the videos, please drop a like on there. Well, helps me out so much and helps you out too because you get to see in the subscriptions box. So against our old Butt Muncher, I'm going to need to go for a Stealth Rock. So we're going to set the Stealth Rock up here. I thought that'd be pretty handy. You know, I didn't get too many opportunities to set it up, but you know, outspeeding a Slowbro is going to be pretty easy. So now Slowbro is going to be going for a Curse. So it's a physical set, and it's also going to be fairly bulky too. So like, well, to take this thing out, I don't think I can take it out with Roggenrola. Even if I use Explosion here, it's not going to take it up. It should do like a reasonable amount of damage here too. Then maybe I could swap in one of my special ones to take it out. So I thought, let's play around this for a little bit. Let's go for some Rock Blast here. Let's see what I can get going. So I've got these Rock Blasts going, and I was hoping I could get like a little bit of damage and maybe see some other moves that Slowbro did have. So I had Curse and Trick Room. Okay, fair enough. So I'm guessing it's got... I want to say it's got Zen Headbutt at this point and maybe some other coverage moves. So it's going to go for Headbutt, not Zen Headbutt. So, oh, okay. So Headbutt still does a pretty good amount of damage to me there. I don't get flinch or anything, and I get the Explosion off. So regardless of whatever move Slowbro used there, I was always going to, you know, faint and get my Explosion off. So Explosion does pretty good damage there considering it, you know, it's coming from on the Slowbro. Slowbro's got a lot of defense and a +1 too. So that was fairly impressive. Next Pokemon is going to be the Boldore. Now, as you know, this is the Sand Tomb and Toxic set. I thought I had a pretty good chance against this. Like, you need to, like, hit me very, very hard. Here comes Zen Headbutt, and you know, it's pretty good damage, but not quite enough there. You know, Boldore is extremely tanky. So now Slowbro cannot swap out, and it's trapped in 2. Now, the only thing here I was wondering if Slowbro only has one attacking move, and it's got Slack Off. That's about it. But it used Zen Headbutt and Trick Room, and so I know all of his moves. So it's got 2 Headbutt moves, this is interesting. So now Zen Headbutt's going to hit me again, and Toxic's got to land. I thought I might get flinched there. I was worried about getting flinched, because this turn I would have had to go for like a rest then, and go for Sleep Talk and, you know, get my health back to, you know, to actually take out the Slowbro. So Slowbro's got no way of recovering, which is really, really good. That's always the thing with Slowbro. It's very bulky, and it's always, you know, most of the time has access to healing moves like Slack Off. So I can go for a Sleepy. I thought that was my best bet because it's going to faint to Sand Tomb and Toxic anyway. Slowbro's going to go for a Zen Headbutt here, and they flinched me right at the end. I was like, oh, that really, really sucked, because if I got the rest off there, I would have had all my health back. You know, I could have done it again to the next Pokemon, but now it's got low, you know, very, very low speed. It's low health, and it's got to fade to the next Pokemon. But at least I got rid of the Slowbro. That flinch at the end, you know, really did hurt. Next Pokemon is going to be a Selgor. I got some Stealth Rock damage there, which is good. Now, I'm going to go for a Toxic. Like, well, I'm going to faint this turn anyway, and you know, I was wrong because it went for Acid Spray. I'm like, Acid Spray is not going to take me. I was like, this is an interesting set. But then, right, I started to notice things that were on the screen. I went for Toxic, yeah? And I started noticing things because the Aselga had like an interesting nickname. It was called Acid. I was like, that's a weird name. Like, what's that from? And is it from some sort of show, or I don't really know. So I used Gastro Acid. Then after that, right, I at this stage, like, I'm just going to go for Sand Tomb again. And then he used Acid, so it's got Acid and Gastro Acid. So that's why it's called Acid for. I was like, I see. So I don't know I'm trying to think of any other, like, acid sort of moves. So it's got Poison anyway. I don't know what the other 2 moves would be. I don't think we've got that many moves was it? I'm trying to think on the spot. Anyway, so swapping in my Roggenrola, this was the King's Rock Weak Armor Order set with Rock Blast and Headbutt and Earthquake and Max Stack and Max Sweep. So you get this, right? So it's going to go for Acid Spray. I know that I can live that easy peasy, so it's going to take a lot of them to actually take me out. So that's going to drop. The only thing about Acid Spray that's really good, it drops your special defense by 2 stages, so it's quite good. So going to the Ordinamizers, like I can go for 2 Ordinamizers, like 1 won't be enough, so I'll go for 2, right? So that should be more than enough to take out this Selga. So Selga's going to take some more damage there. Next turn, it's going to faint, like after my attacking move, it's going to go for Acid now. Now, Acid does a fair lot more damage than obviously the first one, and I can go for Automizer. It critted me too, which really didn't help, I got to say. So now I've got +4 in speed, and I've got 252 EVs in speed on top of that too, and I've got added Nation. It's like, okay, well, I'll be able to outspeed the Selga now. I could just take it out with a nice little Rock Blast, and, you know, that'll be the end of it. That'll be very, very good. Actually, I could go for Headbutt here. Like, Headbutt's 100% action. So I went for the Headbutt there, and it still outsped me. I'm like, what? So, oh, man, it must have been really, really close. Like, I know Selga's a very fast Pokemon, but I did have +4 in speed. Man, that really, really sucked. I actually kind of wonder what, the speed versus one. Maybe it definitely was a speed nature. Maybe it was like a timid nature or something like that. So next Pokemon's going to be called Sir Mix-a-Lot. It's like, okay, I don't know. Is this going to be a mix set? You never know. So swapping into Boldore right now. Now, as you know, this is my Body Press Boldore with Iron Defense. So like, well, I don't know what sort of set this is going to be. Should I go for Iron Defense or should I just go for Body Press or set the Sandstorm? I decided to go for the Body Press and then it used Meteor Assault on my... Oh my goodness. So that's going to hit me really hard and take me out in one shot. Now with Sirfetch's item, I'm assuming that it's holding a stick. And stick is going to make that crit all the time, which is very, very bad. So swapping into Gigalith right now. I've got 1 turn here to try and take this thing out. Do I go for Dynamax now, like Dynamax Meteor Beam to get the sand up, to get Sand Rush, or do I go Max Steel Spike? Max Steel Spike will raise my defense 1 stage, but if I get critted, that's not going to matter. You know, it's only going to help me against like the Pokemon after that. And this thing's very, very threatening. So I was thinking about this for quite a while. So I set the Rockfall up. Yeah, let's set the Rockfall up, then I'll attack it afterwards. So going for that anyway. Should do a fair bit of damage, depending on what sort of EV spread the Sirfetch is. I probably called it Farfetch before. I always do that with Farfetch and Sirfetch. Very, very similar names, you know. We live in this far-fetched world, people. So Dynamaxing my Gigalith there. Pride Rock's not the only hard thing about this. And I can go for the attacking move on Sirfetch right there. So that's what I'm going to do then. That was a little joke there. I used to call my Gigalith Pride Rock. And, you know, it was a good joke. It was Pride Rock's not the only hard thing around here. Anyway, I just thought I'd explain that in case you're wondering and thinking what the hell I was talking about. So getting the sand up there, which is very, very good. And that's, we more or less put our Sirfetch a half health, so I'm pretty happy about that. So now we've got the Sand Force happening. I'm going to be hitting a lot harder, and that Steel moves are going to be boosted too. So Sirfetch is going to go for a defog there, and it's actually going to get rid of the Stealth Rocks that are on the field. It's like, oh, that sucks. Now I'm going to go for the Max Steel Spike. That is going to be enough to take out the Sirfetch, almost. It was very, very close. Now I'm going to get a speed, sorry, not a speed boost. I wish I got a speed boost. A defense boost then, which is really good. So it's going to feint to the next attack, which is going to be the Sand. It's like, okay, well, I may as well go for either a Max Quake or a Max Steel Spike. Do I get a defensive boost or do I get a special defensive boost? Like, let's go for the special defensive boost. Meteor Assault almost takes him out there. Holy smokes, that did a lot of damage. Like, that crit. I was in the sand too. That's wild. So that's going to be the end of Sirfetch there, and thank goodness too, because that was like destroying my team. Sirfetch's got a lot of attack stat too, and you know, Meteor Assault's a very, very high base power too. With them as a combination, it's very scary, and the crit as well. You know, it's crazy. Next Pokemon is Thick Cakes, and it's going to be an Appleton there, and you wouldn't read about this. So that's going to be the end of my Dynamax. Now I was like, okay, well, I'll get 1 good attack up on this thing. I've got my Power Herb still. Like, man, this is going to do a good amount of damage. I've got my Power Herb activation. I've got Sand Force, and I've got Meteor Beam. I reckon this is going to take, I mean, it's going to be very, very close, you know. So go for the Meteor Beam and the Power Herb activation with Sand Force. I'm firing off the Meteor Beam here at Thick Cakes, right? Look how bulky that is. Like, I thought I'd one-shot it, and now it's going to go for Astonish. I'm like, what is this set? And it doesn't take me out. Like, This is some sort of like crazy set again. So it's got Astonish, which is going to do hardly any damage. So Astonish is the only good thing about Astonish, it can flinch you. It's got a 30% chance to flinch, but I'm outspeeding it. So now I'm going to go for Flash Cannon there, considering my Power Herb is gone. And it's going to go for Headbutt. So it's got Headbutt and Astonish, and Headbutt still doesn't take me. I was like, wow, that's really, really unlucky. So it must not have any moves that are like super powerful and must rely on like the status moves. I'd say it probably has like Recover or something like that too. So that's going to be the end of Thick Cake set. Surely was Thick. I reckon that was... I want to say that was max health, max special defense. So our next Pokemon is Tree, but I think this is a team based around Bums or something like that. So that's the end of Gigalith. It's going to take me out the Assurance. Now I've got one more Pokemon left. It's the Gigalith you see... Oh wait, you did see this last battle. This is my Sandstream one. That's all right. This one is more of a... this is more of like a competitive set. So I've got Rock Polish, Stone Miss, Heavy Slam, and Super Power. Weakness Policy as the item, as Sandstream as the ability, as you can see. And I've got Jolly Nature, Max Attack, and Max Speed. So it's going to go for a Grassy Glide there, and that's perfect, you know. That's absolute perfection. That's going to give me a Weakness Policy, and there's only one more Pokeball left, and I can easily take that out. I went for the Rock Polish here. That's going to allow me to outspeed all the rest of the team too, and just simply take this out. So I can go for Stone Mist this turn. This will be enough to take out the Sceptile easy, and it's going to go for Grassy Glide. It still outsped me, and I lived on 1 health, and Stone Mist missed. Oh! You wouldn't believe it. So Sceptile still outsped me after the Rock Polish, and I missed. That was a vital miss there. So salty about that one. But that's it, people. That's the end of the battle. The Sceptile dodged my Stone Miss and still outsped me. I'll catch you next time, people. Pretty fun team. Peace out.